Hey everyone, my name's Sarah Lavonne and welcome back to my YouTube channel. When you think about your upcoming labor and birth, or maybe you think back on how you felt about your upcoming labor and birth, what do you think of and what sensations come up in your body? Unfortunately, one of the most common sensations that people feel is fear. They are scared, and what are you scared of? Most of the time is your labor pain or contractions. And so today, what I wanna do is calm your nerves when you think about your labor pain. But before I do that, make sure you subscribe down below and then comment the emotion that you feel when you think about labor. And then I also want you to comment later on what you'll feel after this video, because I wanna reframe the whole thing for you and help you cope better. So let's get started. If I'm totally honest with you, like heart to heart, Sarah, I'm not gonna lie, I have read a whole lot of labor books. I've been a part of thousands of births. I've seen a lot of classes. I've heard all this stuff on Instagram and TikTok and wherever you're getting your information. And the common denominator I hear is people are worried about labor pain. And second of all, it all kind of starts to sound the same. I don't know if anybody can relate to me on that. And so especially as your educator, as somebody who wants to come alongside you and support you and give you tools to have a positive birth experience, which is what I say all the time in my classes and on here on YouTube and on Instagram, I want to sort of help you think about your labor pain differently. And by pain in labor, what I'm talking about is the contractions that come and go. And so if you haven't been on my channel before, there's a ton of videos here for you. For one, I would send you to what is labor, what is contractions, learning all about contractions, when to go to the hospital will kind of help you to frame through the contraction lens, because you have to understand what a contraction is in order to understand what the pain is. But they're coming from these tightenings in your uterus, AKA contraction. So this labor pain is something that everybody anticipates. Are you with me, right? They think about like, oh my gosh, I've heard this story about how it was horrible or how she suffered or it was traumatic. It was the worst pain of my life. There's all these things you've heard about labor pain. And so what I wanna do today is talk about pain. And I also wanna talk about and give you some hope about why pain in labor is different and a new way to think about labor pain. And what I want you to do as a result of this video is I want you to walk away and every single time you think about labor pain, I want you to start shifting your mental perspective to what I'm gonna teach today, okay? So a couple of days ago, I spoke for Lavonne, which is my nursing professional organization. There were 200 nurses on here. I do teach an 8-hour workshop for nurses and birth workers on physiologic birth, which is just letting birth do what it knows how to do. We've seen that humanity has survived for thousands and thousands of years because women give birth to their baby in the wild, right? And it works most of the time. And so what happens when labor works? Okay, so keep that in your mind. But what I added to that was this idea of physiologic birth / physiologic coping, with the idea of what does our body know how to do to cope with labor pain or pain in general. And so I'm gonna lay that out for you. I feel like this, as I was prepping for this, to be totally honest, there was like an aha moment that came to me. So I'm gonna give you like trade secrets here, as far as I've literally never heard anyone explain pain in this exact way. In pieces, yes, but I feel like it's starting to come together for me in a new way. Stay tuned, because more will be coming out of this for nurses and for you guys. But I wanted to give you this like framework to think about labor pain that I hope will help with your labor. Okay, so the idea with physiologic coping is we have to know, what does the body already do to help with pain, okay? Pain is actually a good thing. It helps us, right? If I reach up to the stove and it burns me, I go, ah, and I pull away. Otherwise, if I leave my hand there and I have no pain sensation, there are disorders like this, then I'm gonna burn through multiple layers of my skin. I'm actually gonna damage my body. So pain is protective for our bodies, now for our entire life, until we start to talk about labor, right? So all of a sudden in labor pain is different in the way that it's not I need to run away from it. It's an actual, when you tell me as your labor nurse that like, oh, I have more pain, I'm like, yeah. Whereas anywhere else in the hospital, I would be like, oh no, let me help you treat that. And while we can treat it and we can help you, it's a totally different vibe. And so we have to understand, if we're going to talk about coping with labor, we have to understand that our body naturally, physiologically is geared to protect you against pain. This is a pathologic pain for those of you nurses out there that are listening, because I will be posting this for you because I think this is helpful for you too. So this pathological pain is the foundation of how we are wired. What happens when we have pain that alerts us, uh-oh, something is wrong. What does that lead to? Fear and anxiety. I need to respond. And therefore, we, in theory, in a pathological, meaning there's something wrong with your body, pain situation, we get scared and we seek help. That is good for us. That is protective. Hallelujah, we have that mechanism already inbred in our body, right? But the moment we start talking about pain in labor, guess what? It's not pathologic. It's not a signal something is wrong. It's a physiologic process. So instead, it's normal. It's a part of the process. It's not an alert. But how's our body wired? To go, uh-oh, I'm afraid, right? And so we are left with this crossroads. And this is what I taught them, that there's physiologic pain and there's pathologic pain. What's the thing that can jump into and help you understand which way you're going to go when you have pain? To me, it's education. And if you get that education, so one, this is the first part of this video, is I am here to tell you that labor pain is normal. That when you have contractions, when you have sensations, when it gets more and more intense over time, hopefully you've learned this on my channel already, that it's not physiologic. Your brain is going to tell you there's something wrong. But if you can naturally go, hold on a second, Sarah told me that this is normal. She's seen this over 5,000 times and has studied this till she's blue in the face. It's normal. It's normal. It's normal. You're going to aim towards the physiologic side. And then guess what? The pain no longer becomes scary, right? It may be a little uncomfortable and it could be scary for you. And there's ways for that. That's what I'm getting to. But instead it becomes physiologic, where now you're saying, wait a second, this is good for me. And you can embrace the pain, right? Or the discomfort of the contractions. And that is such an incredibly key thing to understand when you're managing labor pains, whether you choose to get an epidural or not, that it doesn't end up becoming pain, fear, but you're wired for it to be fear. And so there has to be something else that jumps in there to help you, that even if you go and you say, okay, I know it's normal, so it's physiologic, right? Naturally, what is your body going to constantly be telling you? And this is something we celebrate. This is something good. This is not something wrong with you to say, oh, I'm afraid of the pain. But your body tells you there's something wrong. There's something wrong. And so what needs to happen in the meantime, in order for you to avoid the fear side of things, is, and this is the ding, ding, ding moment I had, and it may seem really simple, but there's so much that can go into this, is that instead of going towards fear once you hit physiologic pain, is this idea of a mental override, okay? And mind you, there's so much that goes onto this, and this is why I'm gonna send you to my Coping with Labor class, because that gives you all sorts of tools to cope with the labor pain and impact your brain in a way that you are mentally overriding your natural instinct to protect and run away from pain. That is not helpful. And why? Because when we are protecting, when we're retreating, when we're retracting, when we're squeezing, when we're tightening, right? What we need for labor is soft and loose and open. Okay, so that one in and of itself. Second is your fear hormone is adrenaline. When we're scared and I'm like, ah, right? I'm freaking out, right? I have this little boost of adrenaline. And afterwards, like I know for me, it's usually when I'm driving in LA when like somebody tries to do something crazy and I'm like, oh my God, that was a close one, right? Next, after that, what am I doing? I'm a little shaky. My heart's beating. I feel like the like tingles down my body. I'm like, oh my God, I gotta let the adrenaline wear off. And that is your hormone that's protective, because in a fight or flight scenario, what happens is your body goes, I need to run away from danger, right? It's that retreat, fight or flight away. So naturally your body gives you that adrenaline, but that adrenaline at levels that are too high actually counteracts your labor hormones. Oxytocin, prostaglandin are the big ones, okay? So what happens is you have too much adrenaline and your labor hormones cannot work, which is why you are here, which is why you're taking childbirth classes where education is that like protection against the fear and the trauma in theory, right? That the idea is you jump in and you mentally override so that you keep your adrenaline to levels that are more manageable. A little bit of adrenaline, no problem, right? It kind of keeps you on guard. It keeps you aware of your circumstance. It's going to give you energy to get to the finish line. When you've been laboring for however many hours, we like your hormones to be balanced. We don't want one out of control, really on any scale, right? We want them working in a physiologic birth way so that your body can hopefully deliver your baby vaginally and safely. So what I want you to hear me say is, one, that labor pain contractions are normal. It is expected and it is good. It is helpful for your body in this circumstance. But it is also very normal for you to go, your natural instinct to go, I'm scared of it. And who likes pain? Let's be honest, none of us like pain, right? But in this circumstance, that pain is actually really helpful for you to help you deliver your baby. Now, there's lots of options for how to cope with that pain. That's where an epidural conversation comes in. This is where you're going to take my childbirth classes to help you learn more about that. But the idea is that while it's normal, fear is also natural. But in order to cope and in order to make it, especially for those of you that want to go without an epidural and feel all the sensations, you are going to have to prep. One of the things I say all the time is that you wouldn't run a marathon without running a few miles ahead of time, right? You want to train for the marathon. And this is a version of a marathon for your body. And so those mental override strategies, the best one I'm going to say, and this is one of the ones that I talked to nurses about, was breathing strategies. And I have 2 breathing in labor videos that you can go check out and start with the foundation of your breath. And what that does is, instead of, I'm scared, I'm gonna, nope. It's physiologic. Sarah said it's normal. Okay, hold on a second. My brain's telling me that I should be scared of it, but I'm not going to, because I'm gonna mentally override with my breath as a foundation for my coping. And then after you master your breath, it's mindset. It's all those coping with labor strategies that I believe that everybody needs in their toolbox, but they're not only helpful for your labor, they're also helpful for your life, because life is painful and there are pains in labor. They may be mental, they may be physical, that could be physiologic. It could be part of our growth. I can tell you story after story after story in my life where I've been in the moment. I'm like, this hurts so much, but I know there's fruit on the other side. I know I'm going to birth a baby, a good thing on the other side. And that's the hope you have when you're experiencing those labor pains. So be encouraged. It is normal. Your body knows what to do. Embrace the sensations. Don't run away from them. But that's going to take some mental override strategies of breathing into the pain and releasing, actually doing the work mentally so that you can cope with labor and have that healthy birth memory. Thank you everyone for being with me here today. If you want more from me, I know that I did mention a bunch of my classes. I do 100% believe that education is where it can take the turning point, when the right education, not fear-inducing education. And so that's why I have multiple classes on my channel. I have a VBAC class, the childbirth bundle is a childbirth class, and then I would for sure, especially related to this video, is take my coping with labor class. You can find everything at bundlebirth.com. Everything is in the description box below. If you have other video ideas for me, make sure you comment down below. Let me know what you're looking for and how I can help you. And then make sure you subscribe down below, because as you can imagine, those mental override strategies, I will be dosing out here and there and giving you some strategies for how do you take your brain to the next level so that you can cope with your labor pain. So make sure you subscribe down below, follow me on Instagram, and then until next time, don't forget to flex and flow, and I will see you soon. Bye.
If I could say anything to you.
Okay. It would be a lot of things. Okay, but we need to make sure, yeah, and you need to make sure that I don't have rolls. Can you just... I know, that's the point. Do I look like I have a comb over? Does it look like a toupee? Looks a little comb overy. Hi guys.
Okay. Alright, doing covers. Yep. Now.
Okay. I feel like I need more eye makeup on and so much Botox. Don't make me laugh. No, I'm scared. I'm scared.
Oh, you're scared.
I'm scared of labor pain.
Oh. Okay, now see, if you're doing that, put the words next to you.
Can you imagine? No, it's so much lip. So much lip. Like, right? I look scared. I should be an actress.
I like how you're... Okay, we got it.
We better have gotten it. I'm like sweating.
Is that a spider?
I hope you got it. Can you imagine? No one should have fear of labor pain like that, though.